Muy buenas tardes.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Que es electo público el que esta noche nos acompaña. Créanme, los he estado observando y
I
ponen una
think
atención
that those who are
de las exposiciones que hasta el
watching
momento se han estado
are
dando.
paying
Por lo
attention
tanto,
to the
considero y
different
creo que sería
points that have been made. I
que
think it
ustedes
would be
mismos se dieran un
useful
aplauso porque lo
for
han estado
all
haciendo de la mejor forma.
of you to applaud because you've all been really a great
Como bien lo
audience.
dijeron, mi nombre es Rafael Jordán.
My name is Rafael Jordan. I'm from El Salvador.
Es para mí un honor estar aquí.
It is an honor to be here with you tonight.
Desde la edad de los
Ever since
17 años
I was
me
17,
involucré
I got
en una de
involved
las pandillas que
in one of the
quizás en el
gangs,
mundo, en nuestro propio país, le llaman que son de las más violentas.
which is perhaps one of the most violent ones in my
Quizás es por
country.
algo generamos quizás el 75-80% de los homicidios
About
en El
80 or
Salvador.
85% of the murders in El Salvador,
14
well, there were
personas fallecidas
about
diariamente.
14 people who were murdered every day recently. This is quite a large number, and perhaps this has given us this reputation which isn't all that pleasant. But you know, everything started when I was young, when I was a teenager. In my case, when I was 17 and I was forced to go from one place to another. And I encountered this phenomenon, this social phenomenon. I got involved in the gang world.
Estas habían emigrado después de una guerra civil de 12 años en El Salvador.
And there had been a civil war. I'd gone out of El Salvador. I went to the United States and then came back to El Salvador. You know, there's this concept of crime which is a bit different. And after people come to the country, they end up without any social safety net. There's no political system, so to speak, after all those thousands of deaths. The country's just getting back on its feet. So I got dragged into the gang, and I still consider myself to be a member of the gang. But I have a different approach, and a different attitude. I've heard a lot of people talk about the whole concept of peace. Well, say for 12 years, the 14 years I've been in the gang, at the beginning, I really didn't know what peace was all about. I knew there had been a peace agreement in El Salvador where the guerrillas and the soldiers agreed on various things, and yet I never saw any of that. What I saw was a friend of mine, just 8 meters away from me, who died, and he had to go to the hospital. His mother was sobbing, and I've seen so many of those types of murders. I almost died at one point, and the shot went wide, so I'm lucky to be here today. So thinking about life, all of the years in the gang, after about 6 or 7 years, I was living in 20 square meters, and I couldn't go out into the street. My photo had gone out in the mass media, so my only companion was a little dog who died after 4 months. And then I began thinking things over. I couldn't talk to anyone. I didn't have a telephone for various reasons. Thanks to God, I have a clean record, a criminal record, and as it was said when I was introduced, I started on a peace process with the gang. I tried to get people to talk to each other, people who had wreaked violence every day of our lives. I talked about the importance of pacification. That started about 2.5 years ago. For 15 months, during those 2.5 years, we've been working on pacification. As I said, 14 people were dying every day, and we've brought that figure down to 5 per day. That's not perfect, but from 14 to go down to 5 is a major achievement. You see, there even are a few days that go by where there's not a single death, and that's what we want. That's what we want to keep building. We started with a truce between gangs, and now we're starting with a much broader pacification process, and we are prepared to try to get rid of the violence in our gangs. The only thing we really wanted for the people involved in gangs was to come up with decent jobs and to have respect for our fundamental rights as human beings. That's what we are looking for. We aren't demanding anything more. We are trying to work within the legal framework of our Constitution to ensure that each of these young people, there are a lot of young people in gangs in my country, but we want them to be able to provide some livelihood to their families and to support their homes. We want to consolidate our country which we love. Each of you must listen to the mass media. As we say, they've killed themselves to provide information. You have to listen to that information. And we, as members of the gangs, have to have respect for those journalists who have provided us with insight. They have helped us a lot with pacification. We have support from an institution which is backstopping us into peace. Raúl Mijango and another mediator have dared to support a process which has saved more than 5,000 lives in the last 2 years. This is what it means to build peace, to believe in the future. We want people like you to help us to build that peace. Thank you very much.